Today I want to talk about setting up a budget. Now I realize that budgets are not always fun and they're really not fun sounding, but really when it comes down to managing your money the way that you should and the way that God wants you to, you've got to set up a budget and you've got to follow it. It can't just be a theory, it's got to be something that you actually follow. Listen to what the Bible says in the book of Proverbs. It says, "The godly give good advice, but fools are destroyed by their lack of common sense." Really what a budget is just a common sense approach toward your spending. I remember some of the best financial advice that I ever received in my life was from my dad. And he used to tell me this: it's not how much you make, it's how much you spend. And really what he's talking about is just managing your money through a budget. Now, if you're going to be able to control and get a grip on your spending, you've got to set up a budget. Typically, a budget requires three things. One, it requires that you identify your spending. You got to get a grip on your spending habits and find out where it is that you're spending your money. A budget helps you to do that. Number two, it helps you to evaluate your spending. It's really interesting when you look at a budget as to how much you think you spend versus how much you actually spend. And then the third step is to begin to track your spending. Now, maybe you don't have a clue as how to set up a budget. I would encourage you to do an internet search on budgets, and there are all kinds of resources out on the internet that will help you set up a budget. But let me just encourage you that it doesn't matter who you are, how much money you make, how little money you make, a budget will help you. Kim and I learned this the hard way. A few years ago, we actually went to a cash budget. We were budgeting the items that we were spending, and we did it for a long time. Not too awful long ago, we thought, man, we've got this thing down. We don't really have to live by a budget anymore. So we were just going to kind of wing it. And we had a really good grip on our debt and our spending, we thought. And after 1 month, this was interesting, we looked back at how much we spent when we were not following the budget. And we spent more than 2.5 times what we normally spent when we followed a budget. Now, what is my point? The Bible says good planning and hard work lead to prosperity. So I really want to encourage you to learn to live by a budget, set up your budget, follow it. Don't let it just be a theory, and it will not take you very long at all to begin to climb out of debt, to begin to be able to put money in the bank, and to be able to become financially free.